Hello and welcome everyone to the Friday, July 18th edition of the SIG ContribEx Contributor Comms subproject meeting. As a reminder, this meeting, just like all meetings in open source Kubernetes, operates under a code of conduct, which essentially says to be respectful of your fellow speakers and attendees and generally be excellent to each other. This is a very casual meeting, so feel free to interrupt at any time. I usually do this reminder at the end, but I actually remembered early today. We tend to just kind of chat amongst ourselves. And so if you missed the intro section that I'm about to do and you want to introduce yourself later in the meeting, or you just have a question because you don't understand something or want to dive deeper on something, please do feel free to ask. But before we get into our regular agenda, we like to offer an opportunity here at the beginning of the call for anyone to introduce themselves if you would like to. Totally optional. I'm going to start off. I'm Caslin Fields, and I am a co-lead of this subproject. Oh man, how long have I been? I've been part of this group since 2020, and I've been a lead of it at least for like 2 or 3 years. Um, uh, and the purpose of this group, this is the comms subproject, contributor comms. The idea is that we want to make sure that folks within the contributor community in Kubernetes know about things that are going on that they should know about, and also to some extent that folks outside of the contributor community know about the awesome work that contributors are doing. We theoretically accomplish this using a variety of methods, including social media. We own a variety of social media accounts on behalf of the project, as well as writing blogs when there are people to actually review the blogs and all sorts of other things, which we will dive into during our agenda today. My pronouns are she, her. Would anyone else like to introduce themselves?
I can also do this. Hi, I'm Mario. I am also a co-chair of SIG ContribEx, and I'm technically doing technical stuff in comms, not so much at the moment. However, I do some other stuff in Kubernetes and CNCF. Pronouns he, him, and I work for Kubernetes.
Welcome, Mario. Good to have you. Would anyone else like to introduce themselves today? Totally optional.
I can do it. So I'm Fred. I work at SAS. I've been also in SIG ContribEx comms for a couple of years now. I often do some tasks in the Kubernetes release team, and that's it.
Welcome, Fred. Always good to have you. Anyone else?
My pleasure as always.
Yeah, I can do that. Hi, everyone. My name is Orlin. I'm just looking around. I just want to see the vibe of that group and see if I can help with something or join you. I don't know. Just want to see what you guys doing and say hi.
Welcome. I love that so much. I love the vibe surfing. We highly recommend that in new contributor orientation. So welcome. Hope
Thank
that you enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Anyone else like to introduce themselves? Totally optional.
Yes. Hello, my name is Swati, and just like Audlin, I have been attending SIG ContribEx meetings for about 2 weeks now. And yes, I'm very happy to be here.
Welcome. We're glad to have you back. Anyone else?
I'm happy to be here.
I'm Susan. I am also on the lurking and learning train.
We have quite the train going right now. Love it. Welcome back, Susan.
Thank you.
Anyone else? All right. One more housekeeping item. And if you missed introductions and you want to introduce yourself later, always welcome. Last housekeeping item, note taker. So during these meetings, we go through a lot of discussion on various topics, and we like to have someone who is trying to follow along with the discussion and take notes as best you can. So we ask for a volunteer note taker for each meeting. Like I said, the role of note taker is to follow along with the discussion, take those notes so that if anyone missed the meeting, they can come back and check in on the notes later. Or if we're having our SIG ContribEx meeting later next week and we're like, what was that thing that we talked about in the comms meeting? We check the notes for that. So we really value that contribution. Would anyone like to try being our note taker today? No worries. For the folks who may watch this recording later, one of the folks on the call said that they were driving, so they can't take notes. Very common. Like some folks just don't feel like they're very good at listening and taking notes at the same time. So sometimes folks don't want to, or sometimes folks are driving, or all kinds of things. But any volunteers today?
I can if no one else is. Anyone wants to go?
Do it, do it, do it.
All right.
Thank you very much, Swati. I'll write that down. All right. And have you got the link open? I'll send it one more time in case anyone missed it.
Yeah, I
Thank you
have it
very
open.
much for volunteering. Excellent. And one thing that I usually don't say when I'm introducing the note taker role, because I don't know, I want people to feel like they have an important role that is important to us, which it is. But it's kind of a group effort, realistically. Folks will pop in and help you if you have any trouble. All right, and that is it for housekeeping. I think we're ready to dive into our agenda for today. Also, if you haven't yet, please do feel free to add yourself as an attendee in the notes. Or if our note taker, someone wants to write down folks, and sometimes we do it various ways. But anyway, welcome to add yourself if you would like to. Diving into our agenda, though, our first item is messages of the week. So that's things we should be reminding folks about that are happening in the community. One that I just looked up is that the Project Pavilion kiosk thing is closing on July 21st. There's actually a variety of things there. So it's kiosk. Oh, okay. It's just the kiosk and the PR support interest form. Usually SIGs don't really do on their own. It would be like a ContribEx thing, I would think, if we were going to do PR support, but we also just never do that.
I mean,
And
technically, we can even create a video, I think, that is being played before the keynotes. Graduated projects can do this.
Yeah, there's history there. There's always history, isn't there? I think, are we still doing the like all the SIGs can do a video in the keynote thing?
No, only projects, I think.
Just projects? Okay.
Yeah.
Because there was a time when we did every SIG had the opportunity to do like a 1-minute video that would be played in the keynotes. Attendee feedback was not very positive. So we've kind of stopped doing that. Anyway. So we could remind folks that kiosk submissions and PR support interest form submissions are due Monday, but I don't think that we'll actually do that. Maintainer Summit. When are those?
Sunday.
Sunday?
No, also Monday. Monday. Also, Sunday is closed. It's either Sunday or Monday is closing. Monday.
Monday. No,
Monday.
Sunday.
Sunday.
Monday it opened. Sunday it closes.
Yeah.
Just to make that confusing for us.
But I pinged everyone everywhere. I went through all of the graduated projects, Slack channels, including Kubernetes. I wrote in the contributor summit and annoyed people to hand in talks. So
Good commsing. High five.
I must admit, submitted sessions still low. So if you have a proposal, hand it in.
I do have someone who pinged me this morning asking me to review a submission, so could be that folks are running late.
So currently, there are, even if we would accept every talk, there would be slots open.
Pretty common. Hopefully folks will get it in just under the deadline, as they tend to do. If anybody, we had, I think, okay. So we had a couple of folks in the last meeting send me info to be added to Buffer, and I just did those this morning. Apologies. And, I was like, if somebody wanted to hop onto Buffer and draft a message about any of these things while we're talking here, that would be great. But I think I still need to give you all access to all of the various channels. And I don't want to take the time to do that right now. So anyway, any other things going on in the community that folks need to know about? We haven't heard anything new on the elections yet, right? That's concerning.
Election officers are up for confirmation from steering. The problem is steering. A lot of folks from steering are out on vacation because it's vacation time.
'Tis the season, which is good. People should take vacation. So we're awaiting election officer confirmation. Once the election officers are confirmed, they're supposed to figure out the timeline. And this is going to be
tough.
They're just going to have to run it into September.
Yeah.
I can't remember an election where we haven't actually had the election in August, but this one's going to be late. And the Code of Conduct Committee election is happening offset from this one, right? They figured that out finally?
Code of Conduct election is done. This was in the beginning of the year.
Yeah. Okay. So we don't have to worry about that one right now.
I
There have been
think we will.
times where they've been kind of mixed. Cool. So we're waiting that. Any other important community things going on?
Release
We
is
should
something.
probably. Oh yeah, release is good.
Is there something coming up? I'm not sure.
Yeah, let's check the release schedule. Kubernetes release information. Let's see here.
There, if you scroll,
we're in July here. July.
And it's 8. Next week is the 20th. 20th of July.
We passed the beta code freeze July 25th. That's probably something we could help with reminders about.
That's next week.
Yes. So note taker, please take down a note that 25th of July.
All right, 25th of July.
UTC. Yeah. Okay. I can give you this if you want to put down the actual. I'll put that in the chat for the meeting.
Right.
Is code freeze.
Okay.
So that matters for a lot of other folks in the community because a lot of the SIGs are working on features for the release. And so everyone kind of panics and scrambles around code freeze.
So no changes can be made to the code after this date?
To code that's going into 1.34. There's also like things that folks work on that may not be going into 1.34 that folks could continue working on, but anything that is going into the next release can't be changed after that date. Correct. Yeah, and so things that we could do to help with that. There is technically a comms lead for the release. Ideally, we would have someone reach out to them and be like, "Hey, we would like to help you with notifications about code freeze," and then those folks would probably work together to draft the text that would be sent out across all of our social media platforms, and possibly as emails to certain mailing lists as well. That's what would happen in an ideal case.
So everything through the comms lead?
So there's a comms team for release. Ideally,
Okay.
the even more ideal case would be that the comms team would have access to all of our social media and they would handle setting up all of those messages on their own.
Okay.
I don't think we've actually given access to this comms lead.
Who's comms lead?
That is a question I do not know the answer to. Release team. Communications. Augustina Barbetta. I don't know any of these names. I think I've run into Depeche before. Depeche
Yeah,
roulette.
I'm working with them because I'm the emeritus advisor for this release. So if there's anything that needs to be, I mean, I can contact them obviously. There's a retro next week as well, so maybe actually now that I think of it, the retro document and the invitation is there. It could make sense to add something around the comms.
Yeah. The ideal process is that like we know who the comms lead is once they're selected, and then we actually talk with them and get them set up with access to all of our stuff so that they can do things.
If so, what I can do, or I mean, if you agree, or someone else, obviously, I think you mentioned that, but I don't think that that's part of any existing protocol or right. So one thing that we can actually add as a topic is exactly that, right? So we have tools in comms that can be useful for comms, for releasing comms. What about adding
Comms
some
and
more
comms.
structure that the comms lead will contact the ContribEx comms projects, blah, 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 and will be given access to the tools, etc. And in that way, there will be some more social media exposure and etc. So I can add that point, and we can discuss it on the retro.
We can also that's the benefit. We can also give them access to the Slack board.
Yeah, exactly.
So it would ease up their the thing that, hey, I'm from Kubernetes release comms. Do you have any enhancements? Because you can basically automate this with the Slack bot.
Yep. I'll add that point, and if you want to join in, I can share the link to the retro next week. It's in the Kubernetes calendar anyway, right? So
I think I can actually join. Let me have a look.
This is actually on our board, fixing the release comms connection process.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. Yeah. So I like the idea of putting it into the retro. And I like the idea of it being kind of a push action of the comms lead that's selected for the release reaching out to us.
Yeah.
Because we try to keep track of like when the release team gets settled, but we're talking about so many other things we never actually end up talking to them.
It's in parallel to the ContribEx bi-weekly meeting.
Isn't it 1 hour after? I think that the release. No. Okay.
It's 7 p.m. because we moved the ContribEx bi-weekly meeting.
Right. Yeah, because it was always overlapping with the release team meetings for the Americas and Europe time zone. So yeah, I mean, but what I can do, I'm still actually cleaning up the retro document. I can add the point. I will obviously be there because I'm the facilitator. So I'll propose something, or at least I'll raise the topic. And if anyone can join in, obviously, all the better. Even better.
I mean, potentially we can also, Kesslin, I don't know if you're around for next week for the bi-weekly meeting.
Theoretically, let me check my schedule.
Then we could also
I should
do
be around.
divide and conquer.
We could, yeah, if you're free.
Yeah, I already have it in calendar.
Okay, we could do that. Thank you.
So basically, some of the ContribEx members go to the release meet.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Next week.
All right.
Some of us will go to the comms or ContribEx meeting, not the comms meeting. Some of us will go to the release team meeting to try to fix this comms problem. And then, actually, Frederico, could you go into the ContribEx comms channel on Slack and at the current comms lead for release and mention the code freeze? Like, hey, comms lead, this is the comms channel. Would you like our help communicating stuff about the code freeze?
And in our channel, so going to our channel, but adding the comms release team lead, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll do that.
It'd be nice to have that in the whole team comms channel.
Yeah.
So that we can all see that, and folks who are new to Buffer can see it, and hopefully we can help each other, and anyone who wants to can help with that.
I'll do that.
Thank you.
And I'll take a look at the retro document later today. If someone wants to add that point anyway, even better. If not, I'll add something there. But we obviously can add your name or Marcus' name, or I mean whomever in the action that needs to be taken afterwards, because there will be an action which there will be discussion obviously, and the action can be something like proposing a PR against the comms role book that contains that information, because every new people, if it's there, then it becomes a normal part of the process.
Yes. I like this plan. There's a plan. Cool. So let's move on from that one. Any other things going on in the community that we need to let them know about? I think that's a good selection of stuff, so I doubt there's anything else that we can think of right now. So I think let's move on to new items. Has anyone heard about anything going on in the community or heard any requests from our team? I know the SIG ContribEx meeting this week, the APAC one, didn't end up happening. They ended up canceling that one. So I'm sure that there's no request for us there. And I have not been paying close attention to Slack.
I mean, the only topic that potentially yeah, the only topic is the leads communication regarding the kiosk thingy thing. But that's something that I will do tonight. Beside this,
I mean, that's enough on its own. Let us know if you need any help there. If you ping in the comm Slack, folks might be around to help you if you need any.
I don't have anything else. Oh, I need to ping the CNCF folks if we get an extension to the deadline.
On the kiosk?
Yeah.
I'm not worried about that. I think we'll either work it out or we won't. And if we won't, then we don't have to do
I will also
things.
ping just either George or Gphy.
Sounds good. So moving on to the last thing in our note stock agenda, updates and big wins. Has anybody made any big progress on blogs or excited about anything that happened in the past week? A couple of folks got added to the buffer team, so I'm excited about that. I guess we can add that. 2 new buffer folks. I
I'll
still
let you
need to
type.
give those folks. Yeah.
There is something that has been created, which is an issue regarding fast decision making for when something urgent comes up for steering. And this basically ties into we should update our critical comms policy for what we need to do.
Mm-hmm. Should we count that as a new item or an update?
I'm
going to count it as a new item.
New item. Yeah.
I'll type that one in for you real quick. Actually, could you type it and I'll go find the link to the critical comms doc?
All right, just the critical comms doc needs to be updated.
Yeah.
Yes. Community.
Communication.
Contributor comms.
Not sure. I think it is actually in communication, so one above. Because there are all of the guidelines, and there's a critical
sensitive comms guidelines.
Sensitive comms, yeah. Sensitive, critical.
This does not have much in it. Is this really it?
Yeah, that's it. The problem is, it looks bigger, but for whatever reason, the markdown format is crashed. So basically, everything is just one big line. So we also need to update the format of the.
Oh yeah, because you have to do 2 new lines to get Markdown to do a new line.
Yeah. And I didn't do this, and it fucked it up, and I never.
I was like, I swear the doc was longer.
The doc is actually the amount of content is just this, but
it's just crunched.
Yeah, it's like one big line.
Makes sense. All right, so it needs to be updated. A little bit more information there. It needs to be updated with
a how-to guide with, like, or a step by step, or a playbook. It needs to be updated.
Playbook for stakeholders. Stakeholders playbook.
Okay.
Stakeholders. Like when there's urgent communications that need to happen and we have stakeholders for that communication, like steering actually needs to be involved and CNCF needs to be involved, as was the case with the last one. Or there have also been cases where it's like security, SIG security needs to be involved because it's a security vulnerability that we need to do comms about. So there can be a variety of different types of stakeholders. But we don't currently have any guidelines in our sensitive comms guidelines on like, make sure that you have the right people approving things before things go out and things like that. So, nothing too crazy, but we need to actually make a PR. And in order to get that done, what do we want to have happen, Mario, do you think? Is there a way that we could have a couple of folks work together to do that? Is there someone specific within our group that we want to have write that? I know that you wrote a lot of that doc. Chris also contributed some stuff to that doc.
I mean, potentially some. I mean, anyone with a good understanding of when
comms.
when issues come up.
Yeah, Chris, Frederico, you probably have experience with this kind of thing.
I think Frederico left because he had another appointment.
Yeah, any of our leads basically could help do that. Yeah. It's one of those things that would take 5 minutes if we could actually focus on doing it. It would take 5 minutes to write, and then it would take a month to get everyone on board with the same thing. And then, yeah. Anyway, it's noted. Let's move on. Back to updates and big wins. That was a good one to call out. Thank you, Mario, for remembering that. I'm going to bet we're good on that. So I think we're ready to move on to the board. Let's go to the board. All right, so things we have in the board and ready for review. Same as last time, there is a working group policy spotlight blog, which has been in progress for quite some time. I think I put a comment on it last time we were on here. I'm not actually signed in, so I'm going to sign in real quick. Which screen am I actually sharing? Am I sharing the screen that I'm logging in on, or am I now sharing?
You are sharing the
Notes?
notes doc.
Perfect. I'm going to log in real quick. Got to do my two-factor authentication. I hate it when it doesn't pop up a notification for the sign in. I've got to like open the GitHub app and then it works. All right, and we're back. Here we are. Yep, so I commented last week and no progress. Not surprising. Oh. And oh, there's the board. Lovely. Reload. Cool. So I'll maybe I should move that to blocked. There's not a oh yeah, there is a blocked, but it's all the way over here. Can I move this column? Oh, I can move the column. I'm going to leave it in PR review though, because blocked and waiting is full of stuff, and I feel like we won't actually do anything with that. Gonna move that column back. Okay, moving on to the next column. Let's talk about things in preliminary review, aka proofreading review. Most of this is stuff that's been auto-closed and put back to us for triage.
Yeah, notify comms team when new issue is created. Basically, the funny thing is, this is actually done. The only thing that is missing is updating the comms team in config, Kubernetes, SIG contributor experience, Teams YAML. And to be honest, I'm not sure what to do there, because we basically would need to update this every month or something like this.
Yeah.
Because
this is a age-old issue that every SIG has. We're not the only group that has this issue. Nobody can keep their team lists in GitHub up to date.
Yeah, I mean,
because that's how contribution works.
It basically alerts members of new issues labeled with contributor communication. So technically, everyone, you're in there, so Keslin is in there, Federico is in there, Chris is in there, currently Avinash, Sandipan, and who is
It's been a while
SDC?
since Sundapan has been around.
Exactly. That's So technically, we would need to update this with current constant contributing members. And I'm not sure who to put in there.
Yeah. We're at one of those cycles where like a lot of folks who had been joining kind of stopped joining for a while, and now we've got a whole group of new folks. Welcome. The question is, do we put you all on the list so that you all get pinged about things on GitHub?
I mean,
You've only been attending for a couple weeks. That might be a bit much for you.
I mean, technically, if a new issue is being created in GitHub, we usually repost the issue anyway in the comms chat channel.
Yeah.
So I would basically say that we clean
It's
it
fine.
up. Yeah, or we clean it up. And yeah.
Let that be. Yeah, I agree with that. So I'm going to move this one to, I'm going to call it done.
Yeah, you can
Totally.
basically, yeah, it's done.
It's one of those things that you could always do more on, but that's fine. And then
because the template is working, as people are getting notified when a new issue is created. Because I get notifications when someone creates a comms request.
that's good. So update the comms team. Various access audits is one thing that is meant to handle that. It's like a cycling issue that's like every now and then we work on that. So shall I add an issue for updating the comms team list, or do we even care about doing that?
I am actually doing it now. I will just
Yay!
remove inactive
Thought you might
folks.
be. Update comms team on GitHub. Thank you, Mario. I like running these meetings and being like, hey, go do this thing right now.
So it's basically now it's Chris, Federico, you, Caslin, and me. And that's it.
Yeah, I think that's fine for now.
Because I ask other folks, like I ask also Josh, but they explicitly said they don't want to be involved in this because
I approve
they
of
don't.
that.
Yeah. And so I guess we are good there. So basically I will commit changes and I will say update act or remove.
Wonderful. And then there's a SIG infra spotlight that Federico was working on. He left, so not sure of the status on that. I think it's probably stuck, but moving on to the next
He
thing.
sent a message in the group chat, Federico. There's no further progress on the ongoing spotlights also because of the enhancement freeze.
Understandable. Thank you so much, Swati. Appreciate you noticing that. Federico used to every week do an update on all of the blogs that were in progress. But without folks to review the blogs, it's kind of on pause. But yes, sounds good. Thank you. So moving on to the next item in the board. Contributor site, adding LinkedIn to Kates.io and Kates.dev. This got closed from inactivity. Chris said that it was actually fixed. So he said 568 fixes this, and then 568, but 568 was closed. Was it closed merged? It was not merged.
I mean, I think we still have the issue that this is reliant on the update for KDS.dev, KDS.io.
And Sayako saying that some progress was being made on that.
So Kubernetes.io has the LinkedIn button now. So for KDS.io, it's fixed. For KDS.dev, it's not fixed because KDS.dev still didn't have the update. I think Siam updated KDS.io.
Okay,
because
that makes
I
sense.
think Natalie mentioned it that he went above and beyond and did this.
I'm gonna add a note about that. Sayak is making to Kates.dev. Also 568, which Chris mentioned was closed but not merged. Should I reopen this? I guess we're still waiting for things to happen theoretically. So, oh, I don't have permissions to open it. I don't have contributor site permissions. That's interesting. Well, I put a comment on it.
But you can still write /reopen/remove lifecycle rotten.
And this is why we have Prowbot. Reopen.
And I posted in the chat. Ah, it's not working. Great.
It's just white. It's there.
It's right, yeah.
Thank you. All right, I'll try that. And we'll see if Prowbot does it for us.
And it will close.
Yep, it reopened. Wonderful. Thank you. Automation. SIG UI Spotlight. Frederico already said that there was no particular update on blogs, so I think, yeah, I'm gonna move that one to do. Spotlight SIG Kates Infra. Akansha wanted to work on that. Oh, this is the Kates Infra one. I assume Kates Infra is still too underwater to do this.
Which one is this?
Kates Infra Spotlight.
Yeah.
Not to mention the blog reviewer issues.
Yeah.
So I'm going to move this to do. Steering Spotlight blog. I think there was a draft of this. Shared the final draft with Frederico. I'll ask for an update. All right. Moving on to in progress. Oh, go ahead.
I created a pull request and I assigned you.
Yay.
We still need to wait for the tests to run through.
I will check that change now. Welcome everyone to the comms working session. We rarely get the chance to do these, but they are important because it's a good opportunity for us to actually do work. So, yep, removing a couple folks. Avanish was a past tech lead. Sandipan did a whole bunch of stuff for us at one point. Wasn't he mainly LWKD and SD13? I can't remember their name right now, but also was very involved at one point. So this looks good to me. Technically gets an approval from you making it, right? Yes, it already has an approve. So I'm going to LGTM it and it's going to go right in.
Fastest pull request closed ever.
As soon as it's done doing the checks. All right. In progress, we've got Spotlight, 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 Spotlight. And I know that there's no progress on any of those. Well, theoretically. An update comms team on GitHub moving to done.
Yes.
Beautiful.
And you know what I love? What I love about our automation, when you scroll to the right side in the done, the notify comms team when new issue is created is now also automatically closed because I mentioned it inside of the comment of the pull request.
Beautiful. Automation. Wonderful. So we have 7 minutes left in to do. There's a bunch of stuff that we would love to do someday and definitely don't have capacity as leads to do. We are very happy to have all of you here. And one thing that we didn't talk about in notes is one of our best opportunities for new folks to actually do something for us today is the KubeCon tweets. So if I go, oh boy, I'm just gonna do this. KubeCon tweets, KubeCon posts, yay! Here is the spreadsheet. To explain it once more, for anyone who's interested in helping us out with stuff, the currently open KubeCon for tweets is KubeCon India, though we could start setting up the KubeCon North America one too. I guess the schedule's not up yet.
No.
Yeah, so we gotta wait for the schedule. So anyway, KubeCon India. Thank you so much, Susan. I saw that you've been doing some work on this week to get this in a reasonable state. You mentioned that there were a couple that seemed redundant.
Yes, I have questions.
Yeah.
First, remind me on the color coding. Is the dark ones the LinkedIn ones? Is it like kind of
Yeah.
length-based? Okay, perfect.
Yeah, that's how I did it. You don't have to do it the same way. But.
No, that makes total sense. That's how I updated it and then thought like, oh, not quite sure if that was right. But my other one, so I updated all of the dates and times, sorted it along when they should go out. I think some of them, now that they are all aligned with the day 0 and -1, etc., I think some of them could or probably should be merged, like row 6 and row 9, perhaps, because there's already a really excellent post about beginning tomorrow. Should that be amended to add the information about the colo that day, or should those go out as 2 separate?
Could. For LinkedIn, I do tend to prefer one bigger post rather than multiple smaller posts. So I think that's a great idea. Yeah.
So I left all the rows in there in case they did need to be separate, but someone with knowledge of how events actually work, please feel free to merge things as you see fit.
Cool. Any others that might need to be merged?
Let me look quick.
Oh, I see, Avni, that you've claimed some of these. Thank you, Avni. Wonderful. So, for anyone, yeah. Susan.
Okay, so 7 and 8, the end user facing and contributor facing for KubeCon beginning tomorrow, may need to merge with 10 and 11, just to have mention of OSS India, and also, hey, KubeCon begins tomorrow. Might run into character limits on those with the shorter ones.
Yeah. A piece of advice I got very early on in my career was never too many, at the time it was Twitter posts. Mm-hmm. You can always do more Twitter posts. So I think it's fine to leave them separated.
Okay. And then as far as
if they are redundant, that's fine.
Yeah. I noticed so this was copied over from a previous one, and I noticed there's a couple that have a stagger in the time of 1 minute, one right after the other.
Mm.
Is that a thing? Like, does that need to stay, like, if we're okay?
Unimportant.
Fabulous. And then I think the last one was, for example, on row 5, we have contributor facing for the day -1 events recap. Would that also go out to end user facing, or is that more contributor targeted and only really goes to them?
Depends on what day -1 events we have. If it's like just the maintainer summit, then it would just be contributors, but
Okay, this one
but
is OpenSSL. Oh, sorry.
sorry.
What were you saying, Mario?
Yeah, what actually day -1 event do we have in
OpenSSF
India.
Community Day.
I think that's reasonable for. It's not the Kubernetes contributor community specifically, so I think it makes sense for end user if we want to even do that.
That's the question. I potentially I would just. I mean, OpenSSF is also a fellow Linux Foundation sub-foundation.
That's pretty far from us. Yeah.
I'm currently building something based on OpenSSF projects for
Of course you are.
CNCF things.
So what do you think, Mario? Do you want Kubernetes to talk about OpenSSF?
Actually, yes. You know why?
Okay.
It's the reason. The reasoning why is not so much because well, how to put this? There's something coming up in Europe which is called the Cyber Resilience Act. And we know that a lot of Europeans are following also like the Kubernetes social media thing. And the OpenSSF community is providing some tooling that can help with the Cyber Resilience Act. So talking about that this is coming up might benefit also people from the community in India to highlight that, hey, in India, there's like a security focused thing. And now my browser quit and I'm not sure if I'm stuck. Hello?
You're still
You're
good
not
on
stuck.
our end.
Sorry.
Okay.
Fine.
So basically, I think the Indian-based community or the Asia Pacific-based community has an interest also to hear about security-related conferences that happens next to the Cloud Native Foundation because it will touch cloud native topics as well. But I would face it not. I would do it end user facing, not contributor facing. TLDR.
Okay. As a reminder that that event is happening and or a recap.
It's just there's the OpenSSF thing is happening. It brings OpenSSF Community Day India and basically writes like security and open source ecosystems as a day before KubeCon.
Yeah. So we have currently 2 reminders about OpenSSF Day and badge pickup in the same message.
The question
Do we want to have
let's,
just like a separate one?
Yeah, I would basically let's check if you can actually get your badge on day -1.
You can, but only from 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock.
Yeah, then do this. Then do a post about this, and then also do another post about OpenSSF is happening today.
So let's split those 2 out.
Yeah.
Thank you, Susan. You're getting the hang of this.
Thank you for answering my bazillion questions.
Thank you for having questions.
I was quite overwhelmed
Thanks for joining, Marlon.
Thanks, Roland. When I looked the first time at this document. Because it's huge.
Oh, the KubeCon posts?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very overwhelming for folks, isn't it?
And it got bigger. I think every time I worked in it, I made it bigger for whatever reason.
Yeah, the template that we use for like the event changes every time.
Yeah. But basically for KubeCon NA, we potentially take the template from NA 2024.
Yeah. But we got to adjust it to the schedule whenever that's out. And we are 2 minutes over, so if folks need to leave, please do. I was going to do a quick reminder, and I'll do it for the recording. So if you're interested in helping with this, thank you so much, Susan. there's basically two roles that go into doing our KubeCon posts. One is making sure that we know what all needs to have posts made about it, and that's what Susan's been doing an amazing job of. And then the other thing is that we need folks to come into this sheet and say, yeah, I'll write a post about that, and write up the post. Because the challenge is that writing, how many posts do we have here? 35 posts. Very difficult for a single person to do. So we try to crowdsource it by making this sheet where we describe what you need to write a post about so that you can just go in and write the post. And then there's another piece that comes onto this later, which is actually getting it into the social media platforms. But right now, all we need is folks to come in here and write posts. So if you want to help us out, that's all you need to do. Hop in here, look at what posts need to be written, and have an adventure in writing. We'll review it for you. So what we need is just your help writing the posts.
All right, I would like to contribute.
Join us. I think I put the link to the sheet.
Yeah, I
think
can
put the
see
link
it.
to the sheet in here. Yeah. So dive in. We might want to also put that in the comms channel. We should probably also put it in the SIG ContribEx channel. I think I'll do that right now. Working session. KubeCon India. I'm going to write the post right now. KubeCon India. Social media. Is ready for a contribution. It describes. All right, posted in the comms channel at least. Thank you so much for joining today, everyone. We are 5 minutes after, so I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye to our friends on YouTube. Goodbye, friends on YouTube.